Versatility. This is really an awesome one. The more things you learn to accomplish, the more confidence you will develop. Don't shy away from new endeavors. So some of you there, had heard about Paul Stoffels. He's an unbelievable drug researcher, drug developer, and doctor. But people didn't know that he could play the piano. So he got on the piano and played some notes, and then he played a honky-tonk sound. It's like, wow, this guy's versatile. And we really, in this company, owe a lot to him and love him a lot. Definition of confidence, again, belief in oneself, one's powers or abilities, self-confidence, self-reliance, full trust, belief in the power, trustworthiness, or reliability of a person or thing. It's also true for you. How do you build your confidence? Do what you say you're going to do. Well, how do you do that? Well, say you're going to do things that you really know you can do. Don't set expectations out there for others that you go, I don't even know if I can do this. You can always say, I'm going to try to do that. But for each day, get a few things done. You say, this is what's going to happen. At 7:15, I'm getting up. At 7:15, get up. Go, okay, I did it. That's the way to rebuild that confidence. You don't have to regret yesterday. We've all made mistakes. But in a new unit of time, you can say, you know what? These are some things that I can do, and I will do it. And mark them down and get to a point where you do 10 out of 10. You go, God, I can really do this. Then you can move the grading up a little bit and take on some even bigger projects and make those go right. Because the truth is, we are very, very capable, beyond what anyone will share with us and even beyond our wildest dreams. So build that confidence. It's a huge factor. It wasn't Sam Walton. It is for me, and it is for you, and it is for our company. Adaptability. Being flexible enables you to adapt to changing circumstances readily. Resist doing things the same old way. Be willing to consider new options. Look at the world of phones back when some of you were just little babies. They had little holes in a dial, and you ring it up, you'd listen, there'd be a ring on the other end. You go, okay, hello? And if it's way back in the very old days of your grandparents, it would be Jane would answer, yes, Mr. Dokes, what do you want? Jane, I want to be connected to Alice around the block. Okay. And Jane, don't be listening in now while I'm talking to Alice. Okay, I won't. And they pass the line, and that's kind of what happened. Then it got to dial phones, and you had privacy. And then there was a little thing, who'd you dial? And then there was a little note that came in on who's dialing you. And, oh, that's Jimmy. That's the tax collector. I'm not answering that phone. And it was like, oh, that's really a breakthrough. Then there became the cell phone. And I remember it's like a 6-volt battery. The battery was bigger than the phone. And one of my friends said, I said, you got to be crazy with that thing. It doesn't fit in your pocket, doesn't fit in your pants. You got to put this thing in a bag, and it's scratchy and noisy, and that's never going to work. Okay, so that was my unintelligent response to a technological breakthrough. But now, this little thing's turned into a computer. I mean, a phone is just one little thing that it does. Now, who's calling, when they call, what was said, you can record it, you can videotape it, and you can go out and find, what's their background? I got a call from Jim Smith. Who is he? Oh, Jim Smith, Google him. Oh my God, he's really a great guy. And all these things that a phone can now do because somebody had the insight and the intelligence and the genius characteristics to say, let's take it in that direction. So phones have now become indispensable. You have a relationship with your phone. You like the feel of the glass, the way it looks, the round. It's like, that's part of you now. What would you do without it? I don't wear a watch anymore because my phone's my watches. They're so great. It's my alarm clock. It's everything. I love my phone. And it treats me well. And Siri can talk to me. Hi. And, it's unbelievable. And it's only going to get better. So phones have gone from like ugh to absolutely extraordinary. Now let's just turn the dial back to cancer medication. You've got cancer. Oh, I can treat you. Yeah? How's that going to work out? Well, for a few months, we can extend your life. Yeah? How's the quality? Well, you ever seen yourself looking bald? Not really. Well, get used to it. And you might have a little nausea, a little fatigue, and other things might happen. And yeah, doc, but in 6 months will I all be better? Well, actually, there's a thing called myelosuppression. In 6 months, your immune system's going to be shot. It's like, oh, that's cancer medication 10 years ago. And now it is getting a little better. With Imbruvica, we're actually with empirical vetted data, improving the individual's wellness. Those of you that were there Friday, Doug Smith, he didn't even mention his medication. It's like just 15 seconds a day. The other 23 hours, 59 minutes, and 45 seconds is all what he wants to do. What a transition, and it's a little bit like the cell phone. And we at this company will do it even better, because right now our medication is gray and it's in a little normal pill box, but someday it's gonna have a smile on it. And when you open that little box, You can get to your iPhone. It goes, hey, I saw you took your pills. How are you feeling today? You feeling better? Yeah, great. Okay. If you're not, you can give your doctor a call. It'll be interactive. Where you're taking that pill, it'll be like drinking. You don't know, oh, hell, I have to drink some water. You know, air and water are just like part of living. So for some people with an insidious disease that they can have with chronic lymphocytic leukemia, we want to give them a medication. You go, that's no problem, no bother. I'm going to be just fine. And if your doctor tells you have it, okay. And you know what? In 15 or 18 years, it's going to be $10 a month. Everybody's going to be able to afford it. Right now, it will provide enough money to us that we can go even make it even better, right? So that's what we're doing. But I look at cancer and the treatments today. They're way back to that cell phone that I was critical of my friend when he had one, lugging this thing around like this. So that's where we're going. That's what we're doing. And in 15 years, people will look back and go, wow, that was Pharmacyclics and some other companies. They really turned the corner with cancer. That's what we're doing. An inquisitive, curious mind will help you seek out new information. Don't be afraid to admit you don't know it all. Ask questions about things you don't understand. Definition of curiosity, a desire to know or learn. The derivation, curious, inquisitive, curiosity, to care. Who really knew here before we got into the etymology that the etymology of curious was to care? The word curious is a great word. It doesn't just mean you're poking your nose into someone else's business or you're asking questions you shouldn't be asking. It means you care. The essence of curiosity is to care. So that's a beautiful word. So always acknowledge someone in your space that's curious. Your kids, your friends, your family, those you work with. Thank them for being so curious because they're manifesting that they care about what they're doing and about what you're doing. Who hasn't told their kid or been told as a kid, oh, you're asking too many questions. Go see your mother, you know? That's what my dad said. He's listening to the radio, reading the newspaper. Go ask your mom all those questions. Don't ask me, because he wanted to get the sports news, and I'd come in and ask him all my questions. So wear these binoculars. Be curious. Encourage your kids to be curious. Encourage your teammates to be curious. Curiosity opens the door to increased knowledge. Curiosity opens the door to imagination. You know, imagination opens the door to innovation. We looked at innovation. In and novate. Interchange. It's just all innovation is. Interchange. Change what? I don't know. Change the color of your hair if you want to. You know? Change what? Change your weight. Change your shoes. Change your car. Change your name if you want to. Get married. Take the other guy's name. You know, change, right? It changes life. There's no life without change. So change is here. Just go along with it, and that's innovation. And if it's good, it's a great innovation. And if it's lousy, it'll get rejected and we will not get further supported. But innovate in the direction of betterment. That's why I say to make a difference for the better requires innovation, requires imagination, requires curiosity. The word imagination is this very stimulating word, and it has this M-A-G-I, imagination, and it's also very similar to magic, M-A-G-I. Magic is something out of nothing. Doesn't exist, now it exists. There's the hat, nothing in it. There's the rabbit in the hat, something from nothing. I still don't know how they do that, but somehow they do, right? Imagination also goes back to 10,000 years in the Persian language. There was a word magush, and then it can be brought back into Latin, magus and magi, and it means powerful one. 10,000 years ago, magus meant powerful one. So an imagination is allowing you to express your power. An unbelievable imagination is your expression of your power. And then you use your magic and your other abilities to take that idea, which is just an idea. It's a very tiny little particle, but it's almost nothing, into Imbruvica, something that makes a difference for the better, into a cell phone. Okay, individualism. Do things the way you think they should be done without fearing somebody's disapproval. So if you've done your work, you've done your study, you've really examined, you're not operating on prejudice, and you think that the party's that way, you're the goldfish, then go for it. Just be sure you're right. Actually, there'll be times that you're going to be wrong, and you have to be willing to be wrong in order to be right, because if that is where the plans that will make the successful company operate and the lights really turned on, he'll come back and get these fish, and they'll come back and say, really, thanks, that's awesome that you really helped make this go right. Idealism, keep your feet on the ground. So you've got to stay real in life, but have your head in the clouds. You've got to stay surreal also. You've got to be thinking of that future. That's not what the ground is made of. The unknown, that's not the ground. The ground is the known. The unknown is out there, and it will become the ground. The space that we don't know, the moon, will get there eventually. But not if you don't postulate that or think big about that. Strive to achieve great things, not just for yourself, but for the betterment of mankind. That's the secret sauce right there. If you just focus your attention, what's good for me, what hammers home my greatness in my bank account or my looks or whatever, and that's all you do, I guess there's people that do that and it can work out some way. But if you start expanding, what would work for my family? What would work for my company? What would work for life around me, mankind? What would work for all of life? What works for us what works for the planet here? This is where we live. This planet's in motion. This is our home. We're looking at like, it's been here forever, it's gonna be here. Who really cares what I do? Well, you know what? It does make a huge difference. If you pollute the planet, it's not gonna work so well. So think, the bigger the picture that you think, you're only gonna work 8, 10, 12 hours a day, whatever you do. You can mow lawns 8, 10, 12 hours, and that's not a bad thing. But you can make lawnmowers and motorize them so everybody can mow lawns. That would be a little bigger thing. The bigger you think and you pour your heart into it, the more excited you're going to be by it. We're in the field of healthcare. That touches everyone. What a great business. And it's going to last forever. It's not going away. Healthcare is not going away. As people get increasingly wealthy and they live longer, we take cancer as a major obstacle to old age out. We've added 7 to 10 years to life of quality. So we say in our mission statement, quality and then duration. Because who wants duration if the quality sucks? Nobody does. You give me the quality, then I'll think of what I can do with it. Who really isn't more capable at 50 than they were at 20? Because they've experienced a lot of things. It's actually true at 69. I'm a little better than I was when I was 68. So we think in those terms, think big. How do we make a big difference? Imagination. Geniuses know how to think in new combinations, see things from a different perspective. Well, how do I do that? Well, I could just, I'm going to lose the camera here, but I could just come over here and look at it this way. See, that's just a different perspective. It's just, what point of view do you have? Know your point of view and go, oh, what point of view do you have? Let's discuss it. Let me look at it from your point of view, Some people have gotten in a position where they worked so hard, it was being too much. So we told one girl, you don't qualify for your bonus if you don't leave at 5:30. Okay. And now she and we feel a lot better. And because she just had to let things settle down a little bit because she really got a little bit too far and too extended, and we have to watch out for one another. Nobody wants you to burn out here. I don't mind if you work late, do that from time to time, we all will. But nobody should be working 10 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's not our intention. But imagination, back to that word of powerful one, bringing something from nothing, which is what this company's done. We've brought tremendous medication into the world of healthcare, really from nothing. Imagination is everything. It is the preview of life's coming attractions. So make your own movies at night, Imagine, what might I be able to do when I make that footprint that I was truly here? Many of you have got onto the course, am I right? Taking the Genius course. It's a two-way communication, back and forth, that allows you to look at that word, spend a little time with it, tell your twin what wins you had on that. Oh, that's my favorite one, I'm really good at it. Or that one, I don't know, I'm not so sure about it. And maybe you'll find that they're really good at it. And they can explain to you, well, here's how I enjoy a sense of humor and what makes me laugh and how I make other people laugh. And in that way, we grow with one another. And let's all stay in communication, help one another. We're doing some really good things. The great news is our molecule's on the market. It is going quite well. We'll show numbers here at the end of April. You'll all be pleasantly surprised how well we've done. But every piece of paper you lift up, every phone call you take, every question you answer, every question you ask leads to our continued success. Without each of you, this doesn't happen. With all of you pulling together, working together, there's no stopping us. We're 500 people. Well, someday we'll be 5,000 and 50,000. We're just going to grow and grow and grow. We just have to do one thing, make a difference for the better and pour our hearts into it. We have a short-term advantage, and that we found out that we're geniuses here. Others don't yet know that they are too. But I'm happy for them to catch up, by the way. But we'll always have that lead. So let's make the most of it, okay? Thanks.